Cool, man. How was the? Got my brother Duane, Sensei Duane Ludwig in the house, and
Yes.
yeah,
Sensei Coutts.
Professor Sam Coutts.
Thank you, sir.
I was thinking Sam Stout,
Stouts.
the MMA fighter. I just kept thinking Sam Stout. I'm like, no, it's Coutts, not Scout.
Yes, sir.
So
Yes, sir.
yeah, man, good to have you guys here.
Thanks for having
sir.
us.
Just got a good workout right this morning.
Tack
Killer.
fit.
Some tack fit.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's awesome, man. Awesome. Always great hanging out with Duane. And
It is fun.
good to hang out with you too.
Yes, sir. It's good to see you again.
Yeah. So what? Last
live?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
cool.
We're live.
Pull it up, Jamie.
Yeah. And last time we saw each other, we were filming the
The Tao of MMA.
Tao of MMA with Boss Rutan, and we did TJ Dillashaw, and we started shooting some things.
Sir.
How did that come about?
It came about just for wanting to actually understand martial arts and having someone step up and be able to break down the actual basics of MMA. And I have all the top experts within my circle. It's Trevor Whitman, obviously the world. He has 18 world champions under him from boxing to kickboxing, mixed martial arts. So he's gotten some pretty detailed paths to extract people's potential and really understand boxing and just combative athletics, not just boxing in general, because again, he's produced kickboxing and mixed martial arts champions, world champions, legitimate world champions. So to pull him in to break down the boxing and just overall, where everyone says the fight IQ thing, now like Trevor really understands martial arts. And then obviously had you break down the jiu-jitsu, so boom, beautiful right there. 15 jiu-jitsu
big
wins,
honor.
15 MMA wins, 14 are by submission. That's ninja. Professor, that's ninja. And obviously Sensei Boss Rutan, Super Ninja TJ Dillashaw, Sensei Coutts and myself. So we brought in, again, the experts, TJ for the wrestling, Trevor for the boxing. I'm doing the kickboxing. Obviously you do the jiu-jitsu. TJ for the striking and the wrestling.
But also everybody's their MMA.
All for MMA.
champions, competitor.
Proven
fighters.
thoroughbred.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
everyone's been there and done that. So it's no someone watching YouTube videos and making their own instructionals. It's someone who's actually been there and done that in every aspect of the sport. So if I was going to do something, I want to make sure that I pulled in the right people and I had the right people right in within arm's reach. So which is one of the reasons why I've been able to get to the level of martial arts that I've been able to get to, because I've been encompassed by other great martial artists. So mentored from day one. So I had really great people around me from the start. So I wanted to share that knowledge, make sure that everyone says they're teaching MMA now. And okay, good. I'm glad you're sharing it. But now here's true mixed martial arts knowledge from the masters. So that's been my pursuit in my, actually for life.
Yeah.
Understanding martial arts, right?
Yeah,
So
that's it.
more layers to the game and providing a service back to the world so everyone can teach it and train it safely and effectively.
Is it for all levels?
It's all levels. This first
Beginner.
course is, this course is it's the basics of MMA, which is that's what always wins fights anyway. So again, having experts break down the basics and making it for all levels, entry level, and even if you think maybe if you are the current mixed martial arts champions in some organization, you should still watch this course and still get some insight from the experts from each field. So it's definitely for everybody.
For sure. How was the idea born?
The idea was born just from probably from fear. I'm scared of getting beat up, so I wanted to make sure I understood how to protect myself.
We talked on the phone, and you told me the idea. Like you watched, was it the Fight Metrics?
Fightnomics, yeah, Fightnomics. So, yeah, Reed Kuhn did a
and that's how I'm like, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, it was nice to actually see the science behind it because
the numbers and
Reed
stats.
Kuhn, yep, he studied 2,000 MMA fights over a 10-year span and was able to extract the data from there as far as exactly what submissions took place. And it's easy. Like here's the rear naked choke. Rear naked choke. That's the number one submission in MMA. So if you're in trained mixed martial arts, then you better know how to attack and defend the rear naked choke, since that's the number one submission. So for him to sit down and study all the fights at 2,000 fights and extract the data from the top submissions, the top strikes, the top wrestling, the top positions. So it really erased styles and people's opinions. Like here's the science, here's the data after 2,000 fights. This is what's been proven to be successful. Here experts talk about that, and that's what we've done. So I'm really thankful for that study to come about because again, it erases everyone's opinion and label and style and anything. It's just what really works in a fight is right there.
Really
numbers
happens.
don't lie.
That's it.
It's beautiful.
I'm really excited to.
And thank you for being a part of it, baby.
Yeah,
We couldn't have done it without you.
Really
So
excited
I'm really
to be part.
happy
It's an
about
honor, and I'm excited to see all the stuff come out.
It's
very cool.
It's cool. It's cool.
Where can people find it?
It's Tao TAO of MMA.com. So that's going to be the landing page for everyone can go there and they can start submitting their emails. And because we're still in process of editing it and still adding more pieces to the puzzle and ironing out and make sure it's a good, smooth entry-level course for everybody to understand. So it's still in process, but the Tao of MMA website will be thedaoofmma.com. And then we'll have some ads and share it on social media and everything here when it's finally ironed out and edited, I guess. Edited is be the correct term.
Awesome. How did you guys connect?
Myself and Sensei?
Yeah.
Well, I started jiu-jitsu at Easton in Colorado. Sensei was teaching Bang Muay Thai out of Easton.
Okay, yeah.
And that was what...
And I was around at that. I remember that, yeah.
That was what got me
a crazy history,
yeah. I wasn't super interested in jiu-jitsu at the time, but I was more interested in learning kickboxing from a high-level guy. And then when I saw Sensei Ludwig taught in Colorado, a couple days later, the Kleins opened up an Easton a block from my house. I drove by, saw the sign, I was like, oh, that's where Duane Ludwig teaches. Went in there, it was just jiu-jitsu at the time. So they said, well, you're here, might as well try a jiu-jitsu class. I did break fall, up kicks, hip throw from blocking a punch. And I did it with a 200-pound brown belt and was like, this guy's an idiot. Tell me to throw him? What's this guy talking about? And then when I felt the technique, be able to take a 200-pound guy off his toes, and I was 120 pounds at the time, little skinny 18-year-old. So when I felt that, it just clicked. Like, this works. I've had punches thrown at me. I could feel that this would work in real life, and that sold me on jiu-jitsu. It was practical. Right? If I'd have gone in and seen a Berimbolo right away, I probably wouldn't have signed up, because I was looking. I'm a little guy. I don't want to get beat up in the street. I was looking for self-defense. And the real life, like practical self-defense that I could feel it right away, that sold me on jiu-jitsu.
How do you feel about it now after doing all the sports jiu-jitsu things all these years? Do you feel the same way?
Yeah.
I mean, you should learn both, right? But
I think
you can never forget about the essence of it, how it started.
I think for my classes, if you were very into sport jiu-jitsu, like the current scene, my classes, you might not have as much fun in my class as maybe a 10th Planet class. It's purely revolving around that. I want all my students to be able to defend themselves more than go win medals. I'm definitely proud of my guys when they come back with competition medals. But I would hate for them to believe in the jiu-jitsu, go win medals, and then some angry guy at a bar beats them up in front of their girlfriend or something like that. And then I've been telling them for years, this works, this can save you. And then if it didn't, I'd feel terrible. So the curriculum's very self-defense based, and then I have coaches that compete a lot in sport jiu-jitsu. They teach the leg lock stuff. They focus more on that kind of stuff too. I like that stuff too. It's just not where my passion lies as much.
How many years have you been training?
Start 2007, late 2007. So what was it? 12 years now? 13 years.
13 years.
12, 13 years.
What were some of the things you noticed about yourself that changed once you started training? I'm gonna go back. So you went there. There was no bang jiu-jitsu, bang Muay Thai, right?
Yes, sir.
I said bang jiu-jitsu. You do bang jiu-jitsu, right? But there was no bang Muay Thai, right? At the Kleins,
at that
right?
location, yes, sir.
And then how did you guys?
So me and a couple of the Arvada guys, we would drive to the Denver Easton. And Sensei taught Saturday classes. So we'd go down there and do Saturday classes. And then after training there for a little while, one of Sensei's earlier students, Coach Toner, he started teaching the Bang
Toner.
Exactly. He started teaching the Bang Muay Thai in Arvada. So when Sensei went out to California and was traveling and training guys, Tyler was running
you're still fighting, huh?
Sure.
Yeah.
Tyler was kind of my coach there. And then when Sensei came back to town, I went and signed up at the dojo, and then it just kind of linked up to where I wasn't teaching jiu-jitsu at the time. Sensei's jiu-jitsu instructor was leaving, and it just kind of, it was almost meant to be. It was kind of full circle, came back to one of the inspirations that got me to walk in the door in the first place. I ended up teaching for him at his dojo 10 years later. It was like I couldn't have written that if I tried. It was kind of a weird coincidence.
Did you used to wrestle when you were younger?
No. I grew up doing karate, and I grew up in Newcastle in England. So soccer and rugby were the main sports. Rugby was my main sport. That's what I was best at growing up. And then karate, just because I'm a karate kid, Ninja Turtles, a huge Ninja Turtles fan. That kind of got me into martial arts. So that's kind of worked out.
It's perfect, right? Perfect. Yeah. Doing your ninja reps and it's perfect.
Yeah. So it was kind of.
So you're here in LA doing. You're gonna do a seminar.
Didn't do a seminar. Did the TAC Fit workout, so we had to make sure we had a couple things in line. So TAC Fit, gonna roll with you. Do a seminar, so it's all martial arts, right? And then watch the fights, watch Bellator. So it's learn, share, watch the fights.
Yeah. Flow around, can fully immersed.
Indeed, yeah, it's our life
every day, all day.
Honestly, there's one way to be great at something. You got to be fully immersed in it. So that's exactly. And I'm not trying to be immersed in it. I just am. It's just who I am and what I do. So same thing, right?
Yeah. So where are you teaching at?
At Legacy,
PKG, right?
PKG LA for Tahi. Where the seminar will be on Saturday. So Tahi's another affiliate. He's in LA. So he's been an affiliate for quite a few years, actually. About I think probably 6 or 7 years he's been with us. So one of my earlier affiliates as well.
Great guy.
Yeah, he's a good guy. Every time we have seminars here, he comes over, brings people, and vice versa. So we have a good network, good family. So it's nice to get together and share and throw some ninja sprinkles.
His boss
will be there as well.
Yeah.
Boss,
Cool.
So Sensei Boss Rutan is coming down. He's gonna light up the room and share some ninja sprinkles and get us all crazy and throw some combos.
How is it teaching together with Boss Rutan? He's your mentor, your sensei, has made a big difference in your career, right?
Yep. Yes,
mentored you since you were a kid. Mm-hmm. How is it teaching with him? How do you feel about that? How does it make you feel?
Well, it feels right. It feels right because it's like I was been able to take a lot of his understanding of martial arts and just continue to keep that going with today's understanding of MMA and martial arts again in general. So when I'm there, we're teaching together, I'm just his student. Then when it comes time for me to speak or to do something, then I'll take the rings from there. But I don't really see that I teach with him as much as I'm just being a student, still learning, taking that information and making sure that I can regurgitate it to today's understanding of martial arts. So I'm just kind of a conduit and a piece of information along the journey. So, I guess I actually do teach with him. Come to think about it, it's kind of a trip to be there now because I used to have him on the Black Belt magazine in my room, right? And now I'm standing side by side. So, when you dedicate your life to something, you can reach the higher levels, and it's nice to actually be there. But I don't really see myself in that position as much as I am just still being a martial artist and learning and sharing and growing. So
always a student, huh?
Mm-hmm. Always a student for sure. Always.
It's one of the things I appreciate. You're always studying. You're always learning. You're always trying to improve. I remember actually when when you were teaching at Easton's, starting the Bang Muay Thai system there, teaching. I remember I never thought about really getting into Muay Thai, and then I saw you with the ranked shirts and. I don't know. I watched some of the classes. I think we trained a few times together, as well. I trained with you. And then, I always wanted to do it. And then when you started your affiliate program, I was one of the first guys to call.
Yes, you were. Thank you, baby. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Yeah, because I know how you are. You're always a student. You're always hungry. You're always pushing the boundaries, and so I'm really proud to.
Thank you, sir.
I'm really proud we have it here,
Thank you,
yeah.
It's an honor for me to have it here.
Yeah,
You're awesome.
yeah,
I respect you as a martial artist, a friend, and on many levels. So thank you, sir.
Yeah, and I'm excited to just train TAC Fit with you.
Yeah,
because I know you appreciate it.
I do.
Overall
health
deeper.
And wellness. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
Tell me if you don't mind, break down some TAC Fit for me so I have a better understanding of what I just did.
So we did today we have like different days, but today was like more technique day. We try to break down like the complex movements, so you really learn the technique. But we always try to stay in the 60 to 80% of the heart rate max. So not too much stress, but some stress if we need stress, right, as well. But it's just like a system to optimize yourself, your training, And I think it's a lot of things that we don't get or don't think about when we train any kind of martial arts, Especially as jiu-jitsu, I wish I had these things, right? Mm-hmm. I wish I would have had these recovery tools. I wish I would have had these preventative tools in me, in my arsenal. I
was thinking that during the class. I wish I had this when I was a white belt and blue belt, and elbows hurt, knees hurt, neck hurts.
And at the end of the day, it just makes you better. It optimizes your skill set. Yeah, it makes you better, makes your technique cleaner. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's of course you get that with the martial arts, but it's nice to be able to break those things down, right? Mm-hmm. And simple, compound, complex, like the complexity of the movement. And so really, it's about learning as well, right? Teaching.
And what was the coach's name?
Coach Robert Miller.
I was really impressed with
awesome.
his knowledge,
Yeah.
just the description of which parts of your body are engaged and how to engage them, and all his references were really on point. I was learning a lot just
Yeah.
with him talking, listening
Yeah.
to him. It was really
Yeah,
cool.
we're studying, we're trying to, like, you know, it's because it's so complex, you know, but it's the whole, you know, I can't even say it's just neuro, but it's the whole, how everything works together, because you can come from a top down approach, but it's also like, you know, we know from fighting, it's like you're, you know, it's like bottom up as well, you know, heart and, you know, everything, right?
Yep.
The guts, right? To
Sir.
the instincts, you know? And so I think it's everything as a whole, that to be complete and for you to live your best life. And that kind of gives you a lot of those tools, teaches you the awareness. Kind of, I can go on and on about it, but you know, our main tool is the club bell. You know, Scott Sonnen, the creator, right? He went to study in the Soviet Union.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like the biggest, you know, kind of case study of mankind. But they figured a lot of things out, right? And it was like in the Cold War time, right?
Okay.
So one of the only Americans to kind of go over there. So he studied a lot of, learned a lot of things, and he had a bunch of learning disabilities as a kid. So he suffered a lot, right? And he found his learning style through martial arts. So he's like, at the end of the day, he's a martial artist, and so when he comes, he always got on the mat, and he's like a kid, yeah. But he broke down why the martial arts work, like down to the simplest levels, and he has such a deep awareness. I mean, he's, you know, I call him grandmaster, like a monk, you know, like just the awareness that he has. He's been able to really break it down to the most simplest levels, and he's pushing, you know, still pushing, and he works for the government mainly now. But of course, that's his life's work. You know, a piece of it, you know.
U.S. government? Or
Yes, for sure. And he's a proud American.
Good,
yeah,
good.
for sure. Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah. So
I'm glad you put this together. I'm glad you're sharing it. That was an awesome
yeah,
workout.
you know, yeah. It's much more than just a workout. It's like just, you know, self control. Like, you know, there's a lot of, like, you know, technology. There's so many things, right, in the crazy world, you know. But it really gives you like balance.
Yeah.
You know, it's one of the things that that's given me. Like you know, I've always, you know, eating disorders in a way, like, you know, to cut weight, like I could drop the weight, but then as soon as I have to eat it, I can eat again, I go crazy.
Yeah.
And it's been like a yo-yo thing for me my whole life. You know, when I was a kid, I remember I can't just have one piece of chocolate. I have to eat the whole thing, you know? And after doing TAC Fit, man, I could just have one piece of chocolate and walk away. Totally good. So it's kind of changed me from the inside out.
Mental balance as well.
Yeah, help my mental balance, help my self-control, and I mean, just all kinds of things, you know. I think I had some, you know, I was diagnosed with like multiple sclerosis, like 2012. They didn't pass me for my medical every 5 years. They have you do a brain MRI, right? In Nevada and California.
Okay.
And yeah, so I got in touch with him again. He helped me like 12 years ago for one of my UFC fights, actually. And so he opened my mind up all those years ago. And I always wanted to train, kind of like it's interesting, right? To you, but I wanted to learn. He showed me like a movement to heal my neck. I got thrown on my head. He's like, do this, do that. I'm like, okay, I did it, and it worked. And everything he told me it worked. You know, it was kind of different and weird, you know, in a way. But I trusted him, so I did it, and it worked. Yeah. And so I always wanted to learn it, but I didn't have a place to go and learn it, you know. And I went on the website a couple times, and like the pictures are kind of bad, like the image, like the style, it just didn't kind of fit what I really thought in my heart what it was, you know. And so I finally went to his cert, you know, a little bit over 4 years ago, and just basically got a second chance to kind of do it, and I just went all. And in the process, you know, I did like 50, you know, certifications and workshops, like within, you know, most of them like in a couple of years, you know.
Wow.
So I traveled the world like a bunch of times over, just trying to learn, you know. And yeah, they're kind of like hardcore kind of certifications. It's like the real deal kind of stuff. It's like it's a fight, right? It's okay, you can call it fitness, but it's a martial art, but just with yourself.
Yeah.
That's why it's such a masterpiece. Mm-hmm. And if you got that down, man, you're ready for whoever almost.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yes. Yeah. I agree.
And the certification is like really, truly a masterpiece. Like the test, the physical, the performance test, and just the whole thing. It's just something else, you know. It's like high power stuff, you know. And it all stems from his like childhood traumas, you know. Wow. He overcame and got that special awareness, and you know, put it down.
Done a lot of positivity with it.
Yeah,
That's
found
cool.
martial arts, and then when he found his learning style through like martial arts, he's like, okay, why? And then he went down that road and went to Russia, had that opportunity, and opened up his eyes, and then just kept going down that rabbit hole. And he's helped a lot of people around the world. It's crazy. Really changed lives, saved lives.
That's great.
Yeah, so I'm proud to be a part and to help it grow.
Yeah, I loved it. I definitely want to do more. It was fun.
Yeah. It's a great fit for any martial arts gym.
Yeah, it seems like a real good pairing with martial arts.
Right. I always say that thing where Mr. Miyagi, right? He puts his hands together to fix Danielson's son's shoulders, right? So I think that should be part of the martial arts, right? Steven Seagal, right? With the I did acupuncture to himself.
Healing and awareness, yeah.
Right? It should be part of our martial arts, right? But nobody showed us these things, but it's done cool, and it's all, the natural way, We have the ability to heal ourselves. So it's knowledge, but you got to do the reps. You got to put the time in.
Yeah.
You got to embrace, just like a martial art, but it's with yourself, right?
When's when you run a cert?
It's next weekend. So we have two. We have a Club O one, Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday, Sunday, we have the Attack with Cert. Scott Sonnen, the creator, founder, he's going to be here as well, doing a lecture, some brain things on Friday night, and he's going to be around, and real excited. It's always great to spend time with him. And
nice. Yeah,
I always learn like so many things.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It'd be good to pick his brain and listen to him talk. So I want to check the schedule and see if we can make that out for that or not.
Oh,
so that'd be cool.
That'd be awesome. Yeah.
I got to see what we do next weekend. 2 weeks, Jade's birthday. Next weekend, something. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, it's pretty easy, right? Burbank, Denver.
Yeah, 2.5 hour flight. Yeah. We've been here millions of times. And
it was an easy trip even for me.
Yeah.
Easy now. That's why it works. Professor. Boom. Let's do some tack fit, understand the deeper layers of oneself, get some jiu-jitsu rolling, share some BMT sprinkles.
Yeah, we're going to train jiu-jitsu.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
But I like it. The tack fit was awesome as far as the structured workouts and routines to follow, and the instructor Robert was really detailed with explanations, and I picked some
head coach. Yeah.
I picked up some things as far as how for me to teach with more detailed explanations, even with my BMT, and having people with little reminders of things and where the head should be, drawing the head on top of the ceiling.
That's
and
it.
stuff. So
Structure, right? Structure, breath, and movement, right? That's what he breaks it down to.
Structure, breath, and movement.
And he has the 7 key components,
I saw that poster on the wall. I was reading that. That was cool.
Countercoccygeal alignment, straight spine, right? Shoulders packed, scaps down, so body's strong, right? You can hang. Yeah. Elbow lock, grip confirmation, basically hip recruitment, so like your butt, hollow body position, and leg drive, your legs are straight. Yeah. That's your strong position. And you can handle the heat.
It's been good.
And then you learn to keep it under stress. Under stress, not fold, right? When you get under stress, like you kind of, you shoulders come up, too much, it's too much, yeah?
Yeah.
And then your brain and your nervous system remembers that, right? I know. You're under stress. And first responders, man, you fight for a long time, you know how it is, right? Like all the years, bad, you can get knocked out, some things happen, right? And that stuff sticks more and more. And the years go by, and you just kind of become more and more like that, or you're under stress, and that's the first thing that comes out, rather than keeping those 7 key components, the structure, right, in your body under stress. And so that's kind of like the overcoming that aspect. And first responders, like it was first of all like police and firefighters and military, like in mind, but all those things transfer to everybody, right? To civilians, to everybody,
humans in general.
It's just the right way to train. Yeah,
it's good. It's been good.
Yeah.
Do you have the sign up sheet for the certification? Is it limited, or what do you do?
I have to check, but we'll figure it out. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
Kind of, yeah. But I think it would be great for you to you can get an idea of it. Yeah, it's such a easy trip, and if you're available to come out, I think it's definitely worth it.
Cool.
We have a lot of international guys coming.
Cool.
People come from all over the country as well.
Yeah. And for a gym or I guess I should say a gym to bring this on as an affiliate or a franchise or whatever, what do they need to have?
So right now you can get certified, the TAC for certification. Yeah, and then we're trying to build the infrastructure, a platform to support the affiliates. Yeah, and then of course eventually, it's going to be a franchise. But it's all the right stuff, and can basically turnkey kind of thing into any martial arts gym. Or I mean, we're martial artists, right? So of course that's what I think about. But it's for everybody, You can have just a fitness gym. You can have it for something else as well, some kind of movement thing, But for I mean, the founder, right, was a martial artist, so I think it's I'm biased too, right? But but I think it's a no brainer for sure. Yeah.
Honest opinion.
We'll talk about it. About it. Yeah, I think it's a no brainer for sure.
Keep it rolling for sure. I want to make sure I'm running on my full frequency.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. It's knowledge for your family, like things that you get pains in your neck, you know what to do, and just the fact that you know what to do basically relaxes your neck, right, Enrique? So just the fact, and then you learn all the movements to do, and then you start to feel like, we talked to Andy, Coach Andy, our Bang Muay Thai coach, head coach here, and he talks about that as well.
Yeah, he says he's back to feeling like frisky again. He might want to fight again. No matter how good I feel, I'm not fighting again. I'm
good.
I feel good already.
You fought enough in your life. You're good.
Like everything that I do now, all my training and stuff is all structured drills. Like I don't spar no more. There's no like sparring, nothing. It's just like we're doing the Dutch drill, we're doing the boss drill, we're doing a specific drill, and that's it. We're doing arm bars, we're doing triangles, cool. Any like randori unstructured stuff, I'm just not doing. I'm just flowing. I mean, I'll do what we need to do, but just want to make sure like I'm on a path where I know I can stay healthy and happy and walk out when I'm
for
done.
your family, be your best, live your best life.
I got things to do.
That's it.
That's the same thing too for our students and our instructors. What I ask my affiliate instructors to do is make sure that they understand that they're taking care of the students, because some of them, it's not their life. They need to go and their life is outside the dojo or outside the gym or academy, whatever you may call it. But I want to make sure when they're there, we're taking care of them. They're healthy and happy. They can leave some information, have a good time, and they go about their life. So
you've been through a lot, man. I've watched you big ups, right?
Yes,
for me, like that you could have been like the lineal like UFC champion at one point.
Oh, the linear, I did beat the UFC champion.
Yeah.
When he was the champion outside the UFC.
Right. When they stopped that division and all that, but and then I've seen you some knockouts and stuff where you've been knocked out, some bad, people. We don't want to talk about it, but I'm saying, and so if you fight, right, it can happen, right?
Yeah.
What is game? Yeah. How many times have you been
knocked out?
Yeah.
I've never been out where I've had been waking up. I've been dropped a lot, probably 15, 20 times. And I remember
the ref stopped and you were still
as far as like a ref stoppage, maybe 2 or 3 times.
Okay.
But as far as like being knocked down and then getting guarded again or pummeling or whatever, or being stopped or being knocked down and then having an 8 count if it's boxing or kickboxing or mixed martial arts, depending on what the rule set was. But I've been dropped a lot actually. But as far as being knocked out, I've never been out where I've had to been waking up. I've always been dropped, and I've been came back right away. So that's been good. But I remember like it's a trip because like one time when I was fighting with Ramon Deckers in Japan, I'm like, oh wow, that's crazy.
Sparring.
That's Ramon Deckers. That's crazy. And then next thing I know is I see a Japanese ref in front of me counting, and I was like, the hell? I must have got knocked down. you just lose like 5 seconds of time. You have no idea. So usually people they get knocked down. Like, why'd you get knocked down? Or why'd you stop the fight?
You're dreaming.
They literally,
you're dreaming.
There's a couple of seconds that are just gone. That you go from you think you were just fighting to now you see the ref and you're confused. You're like, what are you doing? Like, why are you stopping? And you're legitimately like, it's genuine. Like, you really don't understand what happened because there's a couple of seconds in your life that are just erased. And everyone's looking at you like, what the hell? And you're looking at them like, what the hell? And it's just, you have no idea. And just like exactly when I was fighting with Ramon Deckers, and this has happened a few times. I've been knocked down a lot, like I was saying, but like you see the opponent, and you have your game plan, you're throwing some things, and then you see a ref counting at you, and you're like, must have got knocked down again. I see, I'm up to your trick. So it's just, like you're just literally gone for a second. But with that happening too, I'm sure that's not good for my brain and overall health. So I want to make sure that doesn't happen anymore, which is why I, help focus on having a real detailed, structured system where people can learn and grow and prevent injury. Get
the skills.
Whether it's like a regular person who's working at a regular job,
you've been through a lot
the top level fighter, like they still have to do their job and be healthy and happy when they do that. So because of my career, and I learned a lot from watching the wrestlers, how they drill and take care of each other, and then watching the jiu-jitsu classes, how they drill and take care of each other.
That style,
Oh, but the style, but the methods that they use, because even the Dutch themselves, they go hard.
Right.
So I like that intensity. So I'm trying to copy that intensity, but on a safer platform to, again, keep my students healthy and happy so that they can go to their fight or they can go to their job and, or come into the dojo the next day and train again. So being healthy and happy is a big key component, and just figuring out ways for these drills to still take place so they can understand how it works, why it works, but obviously have no bumps or bruises.
Going back, I'm just curious, because I can tell you my stories, like what was your mindset thinking back? What memories do you have? Kind of I got knocked out again.
Well,
and the losses. What
the losses? The losses are always, they hurt, and you want to fight like, ooh, but the losses, you sit and I still have like resentment of like, man, I should have did this or should have did that. Yeah. And there's a couple times, like my first K1 Max tournament, and my first fight was Masato, and we exchanged crosses, and we both missed our crosses. He came back with his hook first, and I had my hand down, and he had his hand up. And just that little thing right there, I'm like, man, if my hand would have been up, I may have won the tournament. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. Man, like that seriously bugs me. So now I just harp on myself so much to be technically precise in every instance when it comes to combat. So now I carry that to my students. If you're going to throw the hook, hand up L1, keep your position. Because if not, you get knocked down, you could be out $100,000. Or you could just, not be, it's just like, oh, son of a...
You bring the passion. You bring the passion. That's why I believe in Bang Muay Thai. It's those things.
I'm just trying to make it as pure and as honest as possible.
Yeah.
If you're going to throw a hook, it should be this way, and here's why. Because of my fight, watch the freaking fight. That's exactly why. Not resentful at all. But there's a couple of things like that fight, like that certain exchange with Masato has really led me to want to understand again fear, like I talked about earlier. Like I just want to make sure I'm doing it all correctly. And there's so much to taking place with timing, distance, accuracy, rhythm of the arts and the martial art, and martial meaning war and art is, the human expression, and being able to perform these techniques at certain times is your flavor and feel and flow. But I want to make sure that it's technically correct so you can have the percentages in your favor. I just want to, just OCD to make sure it's as pure and honest as possible. And that's what martial arts extracts is the honesty.
That's Bang Muay Thai right there.
I just want to keep it as clean. I want to be as this is the way you do it, and why, then this is what you should do. And then just taking that same aspect into all their other, pieces of life. When you cross the street, do you look right or left? We know you look left and then right because we're in America. But if you're in Japan, you look right and then left. So studying also what your elements are going to be. Yeah, I love this stuff.
How many years did you fight?
My first fight I was 15 or 16,
right?
And I don't even know how old I was my last fight. I think I fought at the highest levels for about 20 years.
20 years,
I would say, so over 100 fights in total, amateur, professional, and whatever. So over 20 years, 100 fights. Yep.
How long have you been married?
Since what was it, 2004, right? So is that 16? Ooh.
So you.
Ooh, what's up, sweet thing? I didn't see you over there. I'm have to get her number after the podcast, Ninja. Jamie, pull that up. So
three kids.
3 kids, yes. A girl and 2 boys. We have Jade, we have Duane, we have little boss, and carrying on the lineage through those little suckers as well. So it's good.
How is it for your family?
I think they love it, don't they?
Like the ups and downs. How is that going through that together?
It's having the bumps in the road and the wins and losses and injuries and stuff, and it tells you who's got your back and who's on your side. That's what you definitely learn about the people around you and about yourself. Facing these challenges and pulling through them, and then realizing at the end of the day who was there. My wife was always there, so she's my number one partner in life in general. And she's one of my highest ranking students in BMT as well. So it's good to have her along my side this whole journey, and then to take this art of martial art in general that we've collected over the years and now share it with the kids and help build and enrich their lives as well. Like it gives me good satisfaction and purpose. It's nice. It's fun. It's awesome.
Over 100 fights.
100 fights.
Fighting at the highest levels over 20 years.
All over, yeah.
You think you could have done it without her?
No, definitely not. No, I definitely was able to. No, couldn't have done it without her. It's been a lot easier with her, that's for sure. And she's down. My wife's awesome. Yeah, she's not a regular. I don't know what you would say a regular female is, but she's down. She's got my back for sure. She does everything that I ask of her and more. She knows she does things that I don't know need to be done.
Last time we got together, we did our first podcast
Yeah.
together. She, without hesitation, she brought the kids up.
Yeah.
We're in the hotel.
We're family,
And,
yeah.
we were all in the same room,
Yep.
and she kept them all in check.
Yeah.
And
They're trained well. It's part of the martial arts.
your,
right?
your
So,
kids,
Yeah.
it was pretty cool.
They've been in the background when we were filming, did podcasts. Like
They know
that's
the
just our
drill.
life. Yeah, they know the drill. You know. So.
You homeschool them, right?
Yeah, we homeschool him now. It's been good. You know, like little boss was one. So he's 6, and when he'd come home from school and still not know how to, read or pronounce words or do like simple math, we're like, damn, man. And it's one teacher with whatever 15, 20 kids, and sometimes they'd have an assistant, but seeing the what's been produced from that platform to now being homeschooled with one teacher, sometimes 2 teachers, I'll help out every now and then, and having 2, 3 kids, the quality of attention that they're getting is obviously drastically different. Like, I'm going to make sure that they understand. My wife makes sure that they understand the information that we're talking about right then. And it's the same thing, like, in our classes, we have a class of 30 people. They're all, doing the drills and everything, but when a student actually gets to be right in front of the actual teacher, how much better, how much more do they understand from that one-on-one attention is so much more pure and honest rather than a classroom format, even though there's still a lot to be learned there. But we're homeschooling the kids, and they're getting more pure one-on-one attention, and they're growing at a much faster rate. And I know that they're doing the work because we're the ones there. So for my own, just being an instructor and a teacher and my parent, I'm the parent, that it's nice to track along their guidance rather than getting a monthly report.
Do you think there's any, I just think of, kids, like the social aspect of
socializing?
of that. Yeah, but I guess you have the gym.
We still have the dojo. We travel a lot, so we still have, they do the kids classes, and Sensei Coutts has been rocking the kids classes.
Thanks,
so, in the kids classes, we have 20, 30 kids in the classes, and they're definitely getting socialized,
Yeah, for sure.
We've had kids come through the dojo over the years that are homeschooled, and you could tell the ones that are homeschooled without any socializing, like they're a little bit awkward. They just are because they're not facing that public. But our kids, they've already been, they've traveled the world too, and they're definitely socialized. I'm sorry? Yeah, our kids are hilarious.
Boss does that to me all the time.
Yeah, little boss,
barbecue?
you can come eat with us at Brothers? What you doing later, Sensei? You want to come hang out or what? Like, what? He's on the phone talking. Little Duane's talking on the phone to boss, like to head Sensei. What you doing? Oh, I'm just talking to boss. What the hell? So no, they're definitely socialized and mature, and they're getting it. They're definitely going to be well equipped for life for sure. And learn things.
I think about my kids, like how they're growing up, in the school, how they can't even I guess process it in a way, they just, that's what they've always known, right? Mm-hmm. Like
that's the way life is. Yeah,
that's the way life is,
Yeah.
And I just, probably yourself is the same. Like, I guess it wasn't in our thoughts that you wanted to grow up in an academy, gym, right? In a dojo,
Mm-hmm.
but we probably watch kung fu movies and karate.
That's the way it was,
right?
Yeah.
And so I think it was in the back of our minds to kind of grow up in that environment.
Yeah, for sure.
So I guess we kind of created it, right?
Yeah, for sure.
for the next generation.
Yeah, the next generation of
like
trained
it or
assassins.
not. Yeah.
And it just, our kids, they haven't been sick yet either. Our kids were always coming home
Really?
sick from school. So
Wow.
we're like, shit. So that's been nice to have that.
Wow.
They're healthier.
That's amazing.
That's for sure. I think, they're just not getting sick as much. That's definitely not happening. And then they have their social skills at the dojo and within our circle in general. And their learning is more, I don't know if you'd say correct or pure, but it's definitely happening at a faster rate. Like there's statistics that have proven that. I guess it depends on the teacher though, of course, but then the material and the curriculum. But homeschool kids get a more thorough education than the public school, and obviously because just the drastic numbers, obviously. So it's been nice. It's been really good.
It's like the students that get one-on-one attention at the dojo. You see the growth rapidly improve to being in a group class. I think homeschool is a little similar to that.
Right now, the kids are running the dojo. We're here in Burbank. The kids are handling enrollments. Call the dojo. Little Duane will answer. He'll book you an appointment. You find out, get your name, your number, how you heard about us.
You got
He'll
to
call you
train
tomorrow. Give you the heads up before the appointment. So yeah, he's on top of it. He knows how to run his own business. Even when we have seminars, though, they really do run their own business. So this is what we do. This is as far as a life lesson, things that I feel would have been better for me when I was younger. So we have the seminars. We run our testing, our seminars every 4 months. And little Duane banging boss, and our daughter Jade will help out a little bit as well, but they'll make fresh squeezed lemonade, and they don't charge anything for it.
Oh.
They just provide it as a service to the students at the seminar, but they have a tip jar. And they always do good on the tip jar.
Smart.
Hey, I don't know where they picked this up from, but what I tell them is provide a good service back to the world. Don't worry about the reward. Just provide a good service and it'll come back to you. So I think last seminar, they made like $60 from a lemonade stand, from like one jar of lemonade. Right? People were just tipping to be nice, right?
Sure.
So then we take 20% of that and then invest that. So they take 20% total, so it's 10% each, and then put that back into their savings account. So that's part of like their homeschooling project. You know, have them provide a good. What I tell them to look at it as providing a good service back to the world, and then at the end of that, you'll get a reward. With that reward, you need to invest some of that. So I'm helping them play along the game of hopefully life that I felt would have helped me to be in a better position now if I understood that then, vice versa. So
For sure.
Just trying to do what I feel is best, you know, for me
sure.
and the kids and the family in general. So
That's awesome. That's awesome. I had a great time spending time with you guys.
yeah, you're awesome.
The family,
You're keeping the family growing. So, you know, having Sensei and I under your jiu-jitsu guidance, because it's pure and honest. And give us some of your jiu-jitsu accolades for those that may not know how ninja you are.
When in the 90s, I moved down to Brazil, right? Okay. You know, it was one of the top American, black belts, pioneer, but one of the top competitors, period, you know, of my time, you know, in the late 90s, early 2000s. And then around 2002, I started fighting as well. Yeah. And then I had 15 wins, 14 submissions.
14 submissions.
So I
like
count that as
99% finish rate, right?
And different submissions, right? Which you paid attention to.
That's right.
Only you would pay attention to that.
Oh, yeah, I got you, baby. I got to know where it's coming from.
Attention to detail.
Indeed.
And so different submissions. And so, I think that's one of my accolades, right, as well, you know. And you know, I mean, ADCCA, I've done everything, right?
You literally have.
I competed at the highest levels, world championships, and King of the Cage, right? And I count that as part of my jiu-jitsu journey, because back in those days, it was you were really representing jiu-jitsu, and that's always been in my heart. You know, I never thought I would actually fight, you know, MMA, but I kind of wanted to prove myself, I guess, or prove that it worked. And then I used to, you know, mess around like little challenge matches and stuff, right? But I never thought I would fight like professionally in the cage. I thought that was like, you know.
I thought it was crazy. When I watched first UFCs, I was like, hell no. These guys are nuts. The first couple UFCs were in Colorado. So I remember getting the pay-per-view, and they were training I was training out of Tiger Kim's Taekwondo, and the first couple of the UFC guys filmed their little videos there, right? And I remember watching some of them do the filming and stuff, and Hoyce and I think Hoyler were there, and they're doing like the helicopter armbar.
Yeah.
And the guy pulls it, you know, finishing up. I was like, oh my gosh, that's cool. It's sweet, right? And then you watch the fights 2 days later on pay-per-view, and I was like, these guys are nuts. There's no way I would ever do that. Now you hear kids today, I knew I was going to do that right away. No, I don't think you did. When I was like, no, thank you. But there's much more higher level understanding now as well. So, yeah, it's funny. You don't want to fight. I didn't either. I was like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
My fault.
And then, you know how it is when you start to gain confidence.
I'll turn this into a podcast right now, Professor.
This is every
And
night.
I remember going up to Colorado to train. I trained at that Grudge Training Center, and I had to spar with this guy, and he was stalking me down. And I remember seeing like, what is it saying? You're saying Ludwig, seeing that Ludwig tattoo kind of going up and down.
My fault.
I'm like, okay, breathe. And we're all doing stand-up, so I had to like actually stay there in front of him. No takedowns, right? No takedowns.
Come here, Professor.
That was the body language.
I was committed. I was committed to my role.
Yeah.
So I was just trying to help everybody.
Oh man.
Yeah, it was good times.
Yeah, it was good times. It was good times. And it was good times.
We're understanding, right? It's good.
Yeah.
Now, full circle, keeping the family going. So now it's time to.
It's funny.
Just to take all those lessons that we've gained from over the years, now regurgitate it and give it back to today's generation and tomorrow's generation, and so on and so on. Build up the instructors and the coaches to help them continue to teach and share, and actually have a system that's going to be long lasting for many generations. And it's just continuing what we've learned. You know, like I say, Boss Rutan inspired, because it is my system's inspired by Boss Rutan.
For sure.
And then not to limit it there, because it's a striking system for mixed martial arts. Now, when you mix it up into the mixed martial arts, it's like we took fighting, broke it up into separate arts, and now we're bringing it back together. So it's like, oh, here's actually how you fight. Well, let's dissect it. And here's boxing, kickboxing, judo, jiu-jitsu, and so on. Now we're bringing it back together. Now it's being more pure again, which is exactly like the same type of jiu-jitsu you guys teach. It's more for self-defense. It's actual pure what jiu-jitsu is intended for self-defense. So it's nice to still have that pure aspect, but obviously to branch it off for
competition I always keep an open mind. You know, I think it's for everybody, right?
It is.
So the main thing or the biggest thing really is the way of life. That's how I look at it. You know, like the benefits you get from just the process, the journey, right?
Sure.
And hopefully it never ends, right? And the more things like the bang Muay Thai, Jiu-Jitsu, just kind of keep learning, right? And it's that process, I think, where we can really live our best life, right?
You definitely get benefits in areas outside of the physical from martial arts.
Yeah.
It's definitely made me a better father.
You know, and if that means, you know, different strokes are different folks, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what I always like think about. When you know, and we have to learn everything. I have to learn everything. I have to like always study. I have to, but I'm grateful that I have my fighting experience, right? So I do have that self-defense. Fighting experience.
You truly understand what you're teaching and why it works.
And I'm so into the sport jiu-jitsu and the grappling and gi no gi.
You've literally done it all.
Yeah, so I think I'm pretty complete jiu-jitsu guy.
Absolutely.
You know,
Very
Martial
well-rounded.
artist.
yeah, martial artist. You know, for sure. I love everything. You know, I love. You know, now at the TAC Fit, I feel like I'm definitely
Getting rebuilt.
rebuilding myself, like really completing the circle again. Going back to the circle.
Back to day one. Yeah. Always being a beginner student.
That's it.
Always learning and growing.
Always being a student. Yeah.
Have to be.
Yeah. Staying humble, right? So you can be open to learning and evolving and
see that's interesting to stay humble when you're fighting and competing. You want to be the best in the world. You're like, I'm not humble. I'm the best there is, and I think like that mindset needs to take place for a while. So that makes like I am the best, and I'm gonna prove that I'm the best.
Right.
But then be able to receive information, which is like people like TJ Dillashaw who are continually learning, but know that they're the best as well. Like that's interesting about that. Watch him, and I'm like, I'm amazed by him all the time, by his level of coachability, but obviously still his belief and understanding of what he is and what he can do. Like he's a truly exceptional athlete. He really is. He's legitimately, mentally and physically a ninja. For
still
sure.
A student too. When I see
Still
him
a student.
training with you, he's
Always
always
learning,
asking
asking
questions. He's
questions,
listening to you. He still treats like he's still learning from you. He doesn't act like I'm the champion. Let's just hit pads. I know it.
And that's what I've noticed from champions. Like people, I've been around a lot of champions in my life and in my journeys, I should say, and they've all seem to have that same understanding of to be a student, but they know that they're badass.
Coachable.
Yep.
Yeah.
They believe in themselves, but they know there's more to learn. Being coachable for sure is a huge piece of the puzzle. Always being a student, always learning, understanding, right? And I got a good one from Coach Marco in Holland. And he did a seminar in my school probably a year and a half ago. Yeah, you know Marco.
I went out to his gym in Netherlands when I was
nice.
Years ago, probably 10 years ago.
CSA, the original CSA.
Yeah.
And he asked me, he's like, who's teaching you now? And I go, well, you're here, you know, I'm learning from you, and I'm learning from, you know, Sensei still, and I make sure I pay attention to TJ and stuff. And then I just named off like top people. And then I said, well, who's training you? Who's teaching you? He goes, my students. I was like, what? Yeah, my students are training me. And I was like, oh, wow. I was like, because he's trying to figure out how to take his higher level information and to break it down for the day one or the beginner students so they can really understand it, which is what I appreciated from your instructor in TAC Fit, Robert. He really made it simple, even though, and then he gave more of the higher, like the more ninja drills, but then broke it down to the simple format as well. So I was able to follow on the simple format while the other people were doing the more ninja level concepts. So I thought that was really cool, the way he did that. And that's just, again, it all just ties back and forth to be able to, and that's what we're doing now with the Tao of MMA, is taking the chaos of a fight. Because people watch MMA and like, oh, wow, like you have no idea all the techniques that are actually taking place. But now we've brought the experts together to break down those individual aspects and put them into a format where you can actually understand it, learn it, train it, drill it, become better at it. So it's cool to see everyone in our circle all have the same, well, I have a better understanding now of what Marco's doing, learning from his basic students and being vice versa. So we all seem to have now, I'm on board now, understanding to learn from my day one students, because if I can take my ninja drills, break it down for the basics, then that means I truly understand what I'm doing, and vice versa.
Yeah. I think part of that journey, right?
I feel like I got a lot out of teaching the little kids as far as my understanding it, like purple belt level. All right, teach that 5-year-old how to hip out. And the kid can barely walk a straight line, and you got to get him to move his hips. And you really understand what details have to be given, but also what details you can leave out until later down the line. And I think the little kids really help refine the understanding of the most basics, you know? like how to, because you could say like, oh, a jab's just this, just throw out your lead hand, that's a jab. Or you could talk about a jab for 4 hours.
Yeah.
Like the amount of detail you're giving, you figure out like where the line is, how much detail to give, how much to pull away, when to give the extras. I feel like the kids help me with that a lot.
We're going to break it down as simple as basic as possible. It's funny you said the jab, because when Coach Trevor Whitman, we were breaking down boxing. Oh, he talked, seriously, we have a 20-minute clip about the jab with Trevor Whitman. Like
did he even throw a jab?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, he is on an Einstein level of martial arts. Like he'll sit and nerd out and spoke for 20 minutes about the jab. It's like, wow. Like
that
he just
IQ you
knows,
were saying.
yeah, he just really understands martial arts. It's crazy. But then
that was at the last event?
At the Dow of MMA when we were filming the jab. I'm
Okay,
like,
okay.
Sensei could do that too. He's just very humble.
Try not to.
You could do that with every technique.
A lot of things, yeah. I can make it complex, but now to just throw out the basics and what you need to know at this point in your journey is what we need to register as instructors to help guide them along in the proper steps to understand oneself.
You do that in classes. Here's the basics, and then let me and other guys
sprinkle and flow.
Take it to the other level. It's a good balance.
More to learn.
Since Duane,
sir,
you fought at the highest levels for 20 years. You since you were a kid, you've been doing martial arts. What's a thing that sticks out the most for you, like a highlight, like your favorite memory?
One of my favorite memories. Nice. So my 2 world titles were big as far as my own personal journey. My 2 world titles that I won were
which one was those?
So my first world title was the UCC world title, the MMA world title against Jens Pulver. But when I was a kid, I said I'm going to win a kickboxing world title.
Okay.
It's like that was where my goal was, kickboxing world title. So when I won my MMA world title, I was like, nah, it's not what I said I was going to do. Even though it was like Jens at the time was the UFC champion, lightweight UFC champion, and the #1 pound for pound fighter in the world. So I beat the one person who had both titles easily, because I knew, like, just broke it down and working with Sensei and Trevor, like it was easy to actually beat him. Technically, you just had to have the balls to sit there and exchange a punch. That was a money. Because that's what it was. I had to be just outside of the open stance, meaning you're in opposite stances, and he always throws his rear hooks. So and hooks. Like everyone says your reach is the tips of your fingers, and we were talking about this last night. But your reach is actually within a circle, because all punches turn into a circle. So you just have to know how big of your arch is really, and how tight you want to punch. And I was able to register that with Jans. I knew I could just be just outside of that and catch him. But anyway, that one was a monumental piece to me, and then my kickboxing one was as well, because that was what I set out to do when I was a kid. But then the fastest knockout was another huge piece, but also helping TJ Dillashaw win,
and then
win his title.
Ben Askren.
The Ben Askren has to go and screw it up for me. I should get back with that. Ben,
oh my god,
dummy.
I mean, if somebody's gonna take it away,
that was the way to do it for sure.
Off, right?
Oh yeah. Respect Jorge Masvidal, because it was done on a higher stage against a higher level opponent.
Undefeated,
there's a lot more undefeated. Yeah, there's a lot more on paper behind that than mine. And for him to do it the way he was doing it, and he was doing the jump knee a couple days before, so we planned that out too. So that was really
it's still cool.
You
had the fastest knockout. We can still talk about
13 years. Via punch. The fastest knockout in UFC history via a punch.
There you go.
Or he had to do a knee or something. I'm not quite sure he did, but he's awesome. He's cool actually. Jorge Masvidal, he's a good dude. And I haven't met Ben a couple times actually. He was real cool in person as well. But you put the camera and microphone in front of people, and they have to act a certain persona and stuff. But most people in general in the martial art world, and just in general, are good people. Like everyone means to do well, right? They understand you get out, you get what you put out. So I think most people understand that, and they're all pretty much good people overall in general in every field. But key moments in my world title is fastest knockout, but also helping people now, and having to promote the students and see them actually get better with the system. Those have been key moments in my life as well, to see now what I've done personally, but now how am I using that to give back. I was on a selfish journey for a lot of years to understand martial arts and to understand my own opinion, but now what I've been able to do to give back, and now having a system that's worldwide and having high level martial artists that I respect as well, to share it and teach it, and to be on the same board, is a reward to me, to make sure that it's my give back to the world now, is to have an actual service to give back. How many fighters out there are janitors now, are doing something that they may not want to be doing. I'm blessed to be able to be in a position where I can help give back, uplift, and inspire, and make a difference in someone's life, like legitimately, like genuinely. So I have people tell me all the time in classes, thank you so much for having the school and being here. It's my refuge. I do much better in life with this place than without it. So to hear that is truly rewarding. So it's been good. It's been good. How about you? What's some highlights in your life?
Highlights, man. In my fight career, I think the King of the Cage fight.
They have the coolest belt still.
When I closed
on the wall down there, I saw it.
And when I was a black belt, my last year competing at the black belt adult in 2002, I closed the bracket, so I beat the guy that ended up winning the next 2 years. So I have the gold medal, I don't get the official title, but winning that world, in my mind, I won the world championship, right? I beat won all my matches. And I beat the guy I had to beat,
Nice.
So in Brazil, so that was a big deal.
Cool, yeah.
Just I was one of the top guys, yeah. And so just becoming that, manifesting that, because it wasn't always easy. It was hard, yeah. It was hard.
It should be.
I lost for a lot. At the beginning, my beginning part of the journey was I either lost my first. So actually, I should go back to that. For 3 years. I either lost my first or second match in a tournament for 3 years.
Oh, wow.
There weren't that many tournaments, so I had to travel all around. So it was very expensive. Or, I was a kid, I'd sleep in airports and whatever I had to do to kind of, push it, right?
Sure.
And, every time I was good. I was tough, right? I'd come back. Hey, what happened? Oh, I lost, I lost. And so you feel kind of like you die, every time you lose, right? You let everybody down.
I'm still regretful of some of my losses. Yeah.
Yeah. It's different fighting, right? Professional fighting, jiu-jitsu, it's but it's on your record forever, for professional fighting. But anyway, and then when I finally won a tournament, I was one of the top blue belts. I was one of the top blue belts in the world, yeah. And I carried that all the way to black belt.
Nice.
But if I would have quit, if I would have quit before that, I wouldn't have got the benefits. And that part of me never quitting and overcoming, no matter, I had to pick myself up and try again, right?
Sir.
And believe in myself still. And that process has really helped me in everything I've done in my life. The losing, truly, it's the biggest. I think it seems it's the, oh wow. But me losing and never giving up in that time, because it was very hard. I traveled. I was telling you, I was sleeping in airports. I was whatever I had to do. I was driven. Sir. And I was a young man. I was 18, 19, 20, 21, and I was I for whatever reason I went all in, and I moved to Brazil, and I was trying to be the best, and I did everything I could do to do that. I read that Think and Grow Rich book, and I surrounded myself with books, Napoleon Hill, Sir. And just really tried. Just those are my friends, I guess, And of course I moved to Brazil to surround myself with the top guys, right? But that process of not giving up and having a clear focus and a goal, and not giving up in the process really helped me I just have success in my life in every aspect.
Were you having bumps in your jiu-jitsu journey in the beginning, and did something change along the journey that made you just at one point just got better, or is there something happened?
It wasn't that I wasn't tough or wasn't good. It was just when I, back in those days, they didn't have white belt tournaments, for example. So it was just straight to blue. And so the process was, okay, I got my blue belt. I can compete now. But the guys that competed, they were seasoned competitors. So they knew how to win. Yeah, they knew how to win. Could play the game, make their points, and just, tactics and strategy. And of course, along the way, I got armbarred and stuff too. And, whatever, I got hurt. And, those are the things, and you got to pick yourself up and then try again, right? After getting hurt or knocked out or armbarred or whatever, hurt just in the training, right? I had really bad injuries, of course, in that whole 3-year process, but I kept showing up, right? No matter what, and that mental toughness, like I said, it's transferred over to everything that I've done. Any success I've had is because of that. I feel like everything is because of those 3 years of my life. So highlights in my career, maybe it's not a highlight, right? But for me personally, that is the highlight. That is the hero's journey, if you want to call it that. Sir. Yeah, and because of that, I believe in myself, in anything I do.
Nice, good man.
Because I felt like dying every time I lost. I fgot like I died.
Facing that
and I just
fear and that failure.
And I didn't die. I got to wake up the next morning and try again, and then try again, and overcome. And then when I finally won, I was one of the top blue belts, and like I said, I carry that over to all the way to black belt, you know. And here I am, you know. I have a.
You carried what? Just the understand the belief, the confidence, or what'd you carry?
I think just the work ethic, just just the skills that I developed. You know, one of the things actually with the mall, he got me. I was training in his garage, and he got me in a Kimura, and I hurt my elbow. He got me in a Kimura, and I didn't tap. You know, I was kind of a crazy kid, like I'm tough, you know.
Yeah.
And I wanted
some of that.
You know, yeah. And he basically tore my elbow apart. And so I could have felt sorry for myself. I had to drive with my left hand, I had to shift the gears, and I couldn't do anything, with my right hand for some time. But guess what? I still showed up the next day and trained. Nice. I tucked it away on the belt. I was so driven. And then what happened? I turned that hardship, and it was a blessing in disguise because I developed my cross guard game.
Nice.
And I was kind of known. I had a best-selling book in Japan. I sold actually Holy Gracie and Jean-Jacques Machado.
Oh wow.
Book. Yeah, and it was from my crossword game. People loved it, and it's still very relevant. Still works really well. But I developed it because I only had one hand, so I had to reach across, and my feet got so good because I didn't have one of my hands. So I used that handicap for my advantage. But that was just one of the things, right? But I had to have the mindset to keep going.
You won't share some of those sprinkles with me at noon.
It's like Jean-Jacques with the missing fingers.
Yeah.
Getting real good at
that. What's that?
It was like Jean-Jacques Machado
Sure,
with the missing fingers.
Sure.
Yeah.
Gets really good at the underhook, the overhook, as opposed to the collar grip.
For sure. So
I need some of them sprinkles, Professor.
But for sure.
Yeah, that's what
always
work that cross guard.
Yeah. But becoming one of the best in jiu-jitsu,
Yes,
king of the cage, and then being invited to the good UFC, and actually my last fight was in the south of France. Beginning to fight in Japan was a nice part of my journey. I think my last fight was in the south of France. It was on the Mediterranean. It was in a bullfighting ring. So they said real gladiators used to fight. So when I walked out of the what do you call it, from the dressing room, it was in a tunnel, and it was straight up, you felt like a gladiator. That's cool. That was my last fight, and actually the guys ushering, the ushers and stuff, they were dressed like gladiators.
Oh, cool.
So I was like, all right,
Yeah.
And then it worked out too. I was able to heel hook the guy.
Nice.
Oh, it was MMA or
it was MMA, yeah.
What show was this?
It was called Marcoux Fighting Championships.
Okay.
It was actually I think you couldn't punch on the ground, something like that, I'm not sure because the France the MMA wasn't legal.
Yeah.
So they got one around it,
Striking while you're standing.
Yeah, and it was in a ring, and so obviously he didn't want to go to the ground with me. So he just tried to sprawl and brawl me,
Yeah. Not today.
Not
today, Frenchie.
So I kept at it.
Good.
But it worked out, and then I got to make a vacation of it with my wife. I brought her as my corner.
Oh, cool. So you two went?
Yeah. You went on the French Riviera. I went to Saint Tropez, and lived it up, and right,
yeah.
So I
Travel
got to live it up. I got paid, and got to double paid, really.
Yeah.
And so I'm grateful. Just when I think about just the finish on that, my friend Farid Kader, he was fighting Bellator. He was like a French judoka. He went to the Olympian as well, judo Olympian. So he actually got this sponsor, and he kind of hooked it up. He got me a fight in Costa Rica as well with them as the promoters and stuff.
Nice.
But just. I'm blessed, man. It's been blessed. It's everything. The ups and the downs, but you can't have one without the other, right?
Yeah.
And especially the downs was the biggest blessing from my life.
It's funny how that happens, right? That's how my life went.
What's your what?
I had my son Peyton. I don't know if you met him when you were out there. My son Peyton trains at the dojo.
He's ninja.
Me and my girl had him when we were in the 10th grade.
Oh wow!
So it was about as hard of a time as I could have imagined it. 15, 16 years old.
Wow.
But that took me out of the negative path I was going down as a teenager and got me back into martial arts, and it's pretty much my inspiration from there. So
you didn't want to let him down. You wanted to be a good example.
Yeah. When he was
what kinds of things you were 10th grade?
I was in 10th grade when she got pregnant. Yes, sir.
Wow.
So
you were a kid.
Yeah. And then he was born.
So how you're 14?
16.
16.
I was 16 when he was born. Yeah. But I was in a lot of trouble in school and out of school before then, just hanging out with the wrong crowd, getting a lot of trouble. Didn't have any supervision as a kid, so I was always in and out of trouble. And then my son's mom, within a semester of dating her, I went from a 0.6 GPA to like a 2.5 or 2.8. And I'd never gotten any kind of passing grades ever. I just fail every class, move on, and had no motivation for anything other than just hanging out with my friends. And then I don't know what she did. Mind melded me or something, but she switched me, and within a semester I was two A's,
power
two
of the
B's,
woman,
two
you know?
C's. and then shortly after that, she obviously unexpectedly, we were 15, she got pregnant. It wasn't planned.
Okay.
And if I could go back now and not have a kid at 16, I would not do it. And I never thought I'd think that. When she was pregnant, terrified, ruined my life, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
I wouldn't change it for the world. There couldn't have been anything better at that point to change my life into a positive direction. Yeah.
But you chose to do the right thing and not run away either, though, right?
I had friends that got their girls pregnant around the same age that chose the other option.
What made you take care and be there?
Actually, I don't remember whose quote it was or where I saw it, but while she was pregnant, I saw a quote somewhere that was, be the father that you wish you had or that you needed when you were a kid. And that really clicked in my brain. And
where was your father?
I don't know where he is now, somewhere, but wasn't a great guy. So I always had
your mom, a single mom.
Yeah. They were off. My dad would get a new girlfriend, move off somewhere, come back a couple years later. My mom would always take him back, and then the last time he got a new girlfriend was the last time. Actually, the last time I saw him was me and my brother both squared up to him. One side of the house, him on the other side of the house. We'd gotten to that age to where we were like, he's 15, I'm 16. You can't take us both anymore. And it was like a showdown, and then never came back from there. Yeah.
Single mom, raised by a single mom, and you're like, I don't want to be like that.
Yeah. I wanted to, give my my girl a better partner than my mom might have had, and be a better dad, And it's benefited. Peyton is actually, I think he's the youngest.
Peyton's awesome.
He's the youngest blue belt you've ever given out, right? And he's
well deserved.
He just made varsity wrestling his freshman year of high school. He's gets good grade. Everything that we kind of, like I was saying, be the person that you wish you had as a kid. I think I've done that to a good amount, because he's the kid when I look back, I'm like, man, I wish I was that kid. He's a stud wrestler. He's the youngest blue belt under sensei, gets good grades. He's, and at his age, I was already trouble with the police, trouble at school, trouble everywhere I went. So it's a
great story, man.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing.
It worked out well.
Boom.
It's awesome.
Yeah. And then good
What about
inspiration.
you, Sensei? What it's a negative turned into a positive?
Oh, I knew since I was a kid I was going to be a ninja. I already knew that, yeah. So just how it was. Yeah, I was going to be a world champion.
You grew up in Colorado?
Yeah, I grew up in Colorado. Yeah. It was, I just knew.
What did your mom and were your parents martial
No, my
artists?
parents, no, neither one of them. Just grew up around like a bunch of fighting and violence, to be honest, like alcohol and bullshit.
Like your dad?
My parents weren't together. My dad would come down like visit every week or every 2 weeks. He'd drop.
So you raised by your mom as well?
My mom raised, yeah. I was raised with 2 other brothers. I have, I think, 3 brothers and 2 sisters total, like different moms and dads. So I have all like half brothers and sisters here. But
your mom had 2.
My mom had 5 kids?
5 kids.
I think 5 kids total.
Okay,
Yeah,
gotcha.
yeah, all different dads, but whatever. Like we're still family, right? And just true, families. Who
I didn't know you had sisters.
Yeah, I didn't either.
I know Phil and
Phil and Mike. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah, I know Mike too.
Yeah. I don't really talk about my childhood too much, but it's like I don't think I had the best upbringing. Like I grew up on food stamps and welfare, and been in foster homes and childcare, and like I've been through pretty good ringers. So I'm trying having all
foster homes as well.
Foster homes, yeah. So
because your mom,
just like things would happen, or she'd they'd take us, or whoever, like the city or whoever state would take us, right? So I've been to a couple of foster homes and stuff, and
because why? Because of just poverty and stuff.
Just apparently we weren't being raised according to the guidelines that the government thought was fit, But so I'm not exactly sure as I was still a kid, right?
It's amazing, man. I
think a lot of my kid stuff I don't actually remember. Like it's like a subconscious block. So I don't actually fuck with it. So, but looking back at things that I remember, not always the best upbringing, but I knew like my parents loved me and stuff, and I just knew that having such a chaotic life, I'm not going to have that now as an adult, So martial arts really saved me, helped me get focused, and actually fighting and competing is what helped me, because like, okay, you're going to fight this guy on this date, you need to make this weight. So, and like, okay, and then you start breaking down that guy's skill set, and you're like, okay, he's good at this, this, and this. I'm good at this. I need to watch for this and that, and I need to do these things. So you start being able to really hone in and give yourself structure and guidance. But that only happened for me fighting and competing, because then I knew I had to have my shit together. So, I had to wait.
Right, made you rise
this
up.
much weight. Yeah, it made me, you become it gave me disciplined, focused, to make sure that
Like
I actually made the
nothing
weight.
else.
I
I
got
feel the same.
prepared. Yeah, like you
Felt
were
the
just ready
same.
to go. So now I know, instead of fighting that opponent at this weight on this date for however much money, I just replaced those goals now with new goals. Like now my new goal is to build up my students and make sure I have a good quality, pure system, help build them up so they can do better in their lives as well, and tell them, look, for you to go from yellow to orange, this is what you need to know by this date, and this is what you have to get better. And it's helping people realize, like, oh, I can do this. If I do focus and quit fucking off, I can make something of myself. So the ranking and the guidance has been, again, my service back to the world to hopefully help people get their shit together. Not that I'm the best and everyone needs to get their shit together, but it's just a little slice of life that can help organize people to hopefully become a better person, So, but yeah, my shit was crazy when I was a kid, to be honest. Yeah.
What are some memories you have when you were a kid? Crazy memories.
This one's cool. This one's like, so we're in this, my brother Phil and I were in this foster home in, where'd we leave from? We were in New Hampshire at this time.
What
so we're in New Hampshire.
I had no idea. I know.
I don't ever really talk about this stuff, right?
Right.
It's like now in my dojo, if you're a foster kid, you get free training. Like come and train. So
my dad was
oh yeah,
from foster home, yeah.
Oh nice. Hey, see, boom, in the family, boom. There it is. My foster crew.
If it wasn't taken
honesty.
care of, obviously I wouldn't have been born.
Yeah, see,
right?
so he's able to get his stuff together. Boom.
Yeah, like my mom's mom was a teacher.
Okay.
And those kinds of people kind of, where they calls them like his angels.
See, yeah, my wife says she's my angel. She is my angel. So it's like his girl's his angel. So yeah, we need those angels in life. God sends angels down to help guide us along. We have to make sure they're open and pure and can actually listen to those messages. But it's like my last foster home, I was 12, and the foster dad, I should probably try to reach out to him now to just let him know like I turned out okay. But Dave Plummer.
Plummer.
What was his name? And it was my brother Phil and I. What was it? We were in New Hampshire. My dad was in Colorado. My dad had like a job and he was stable, and he was talking to the government. And apparently the talks were, I have my shit together. Send the kids to me. I'm Duane's dad. I'm not Phil's dad, but I'll take care of both of them. But they wouldn't let us go for some reason. Like I don't know what it was. So it was. I don't know. It was quite, I was fucking 12, right? So I'm not quite sure exactly what's going on. But hopefully I don't think Dave can get in trouble now. But Dave told my dad. My dad told me the story. He's like, we're going to go on some trip, and while we're gone, if the kids aren't home when we get back, we don't know what happened. So the foster dad was saying, okay, you want to take your kids, but the government's not letting you? Well, how about if we're not home one day and they're gone, like I don't know what happened. So my dad FedEx or UPS to some money. I was 12. My brother Phil was probably 17. We get on a Greyhound bus for 3 days from New Hampshire.
At 12 years old?
I had a couple
of
gummy bears, so he was 17, I think.
Okay.
So,
yeah, you gummy bears?
Yeah, gummy bears. I don't know why. I remember buying gummy bears and hopping on a fucking Greyhound bus when I was 12, and for 3 days and coming back to Colorado. So, and like that was like when my life like restarted. Like that's when I was able to like, okay, I have an actual roof over my head. I have my dad. He's got a job. I can go to school. Like I started organizing stuff. Right, and I got back into martial arts, and that's when my life like literally changed. And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna fucking do something now. So
what age was that? 12.
12 was when I was like, I was set free. Yeah, so it was good. It was good. Shit changed for me when I was literally 12 years old.
Yeah, that's how you got one. So they sent you out of state.
Well, they didn't.
The foster home?
Because we, like my mom got, she said nothing happened now, right? It's way too long ago. But like my mom got into some legal trouble in Colorado, and then my dad bailed her out when she got out of jail, and then we got on a Greyhound bus and went to the East Coast because my mom was from the East Coast. So we stayed in Boston for a while, and then we came back to Colorado, and then the cops followed us again. Like they found out where my mom was, so we went back to Boston, and then we went up to New Hampshire. So we were literally on the run,
man.
literally on the run. And then the cops, whatever, I'm not quite sure, they arrested my mom, and she was literally in prison. They were in a couple different foster homes, and I was fighting in the foster homes, so we get moved around and shit, just being unstable. So, but yeah, it was good. I guess shit wasn't good at all. And at the time, you're freaking out. You're a kid, like, oh my god, like
You
literally,
got a chance to reconnect with your dad, huh? Spend some time with your dad.
Yeah, got to know my dad. My dad was fucking awesome. My dad was a good dude. Yeah, he was a good guy. That's what I want to be like. Who my dad was. Like, he was a good dude. So it's been good. It's been good to be able to be in a position now to help give people like guidance. You know, so it's nice in the pursuit.
Yeah, you do it.
In process.
Well, thanks for sharing, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Thanks for sharing your personal stuff. Yeah, I felt it too. You got
It's
me
been good.
emotional a bit.
Yeah,
Feeling
fuck, dude, it's been crazy. Yeah.
to overcome all that, you know, and then you found your way out with some martial arts
same,
as
yeah,
well.
for sure.
Yeah,
Boom.
amazing. Yeah,
In on the journey, like literally, motherfucking hungry
Yes,
and shit.
Yeah,
You get ketchup packets when you're a kid. You're like, fuck, like on crackers. Like,
Well,
it's been good.
Thank you guys.
Yeah, thank you. Now,
So they can find
now
Duane,
I done come up. But it was
Ludwig Martial Arts in
literally-
Westminster.
Here's the thing. So you can, literally, like literally homeless and childcare, but now done come up. So service back to the world. Ludwig Martial Arts. What's up, mama? Yeah, I've been in some dark places. Like literally been hungry. Like not know where your meals are gonna come from. Like people say like, oh, I'm hungry. Like motherfucker, you don't know what hungry is. Like, I've been hungry. But,
Even in the
man,
fight
I'm
game,
gonna
huh?
fight
In the fight game, I
I'll
remember there's
cry
some
right
dark
now.
times.
Yeah.
There's
But
some
then,
dark
like
times.
you're cutting weight for a fight. You're like, I've been there before. Like, shit, if I know the meal's gonna be after win, so I'm straight. So, like having the challenges in life can help bring you back. And now it's been able to again have something to help guide people along with some actual like real legitimate information. Like you've been there, you've done that. Like okay, like I trust you. You literally, I've been there. So now the information I give is like is pure and as honest as I can make it. Boom.
You guys.
Ludwig Martial Arts. Bang what's high.
Westminster.
As I'm crying like a little bitch because I've been there. That's
Why I stopped my story short. It's like I'm not crying on camera. I'm gonna make
I'll cry right now. I'll cry.
Start
I'll cry on
talking
paper
about
before. Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully I can inspire people who like been in foster care and may not think they have someone who. Hopefully I can say so. Crying like a little bitch. I'm 41 years old, kind of. But
Man,
It's,
my dad is 70s, and he's in a home now, and he cries when he talks about my grandmother. He's like she shouldn't have to do that, but because she cared enough to kind of
there's someone people do
take
care.
care, I made it,
See,
and he was in
boom.
a home. He was in a home, like a foster home, and he looked up everybody that was in that home for like disturbed kids, and he was the only one who made it out of there.
Oh, wow.
In his late 20s, they were either all dead or in jail.
Yep.
And there just happened to be this home in outside of Santa Fe, Glorieta Pass, that he was able to go to. He was adopted, and then there, she was abusive, and so
Able to restart.
yeah,
second chance.
yeah.
Restart a second chance. Do
That's
something
why.
good with it.
It's ingrained in me, and that's what I don't take it lightly. My role as a teacher and
Yes.
the role that we have as teachers
Yes.
to make that difference. I don't take it lightly. I every single person, I really I try to do my best. Yeah,
Yes.
not perfect. I'm human, but I
Yes, for
I
sure.
really care, and I want the best for people, and I know how much of a difference it can make. Right? I wouldn't
sir.
be alive. I wouldn't have been born if it weren't people
Yes, sir.
like that, like teachers.
Oh yeah, yes sir. Here to make a difference, give back. Boom.
Thank you guys.
Legacy Jiu-Jitsu,
you.
Burbank, California.
Bang Muay Thai,
Bang Muay Thai.
Westminster, Colorado,
Height, indeed.
worldwide.
Indeed, worldwide indeed. Locally known,
Tac fit.
globally known. Tac fit, indeed. All of it. It's a win-win for everybody. Good man. Prof, thank you, sir.
Thank you guys. Thank you.
sir.
Thank you, Sam.
Say, ooh.